let's go with the strong
Louise,
basis.
you've got to get your lesson plan. Come on, let's go.
All right. Why big question, learning objective.
Yep.
What my lesson's about.
Yep.
Risk is something out your comfort zone, either something for the kids out the comfort zone or something that you feel like, I'm not sure about doing this, but let's have a go.
Absolutely.
Okay. Do it now. Hook.
Yeah, that's your hook, that's your starter. That's what gets them engaged and gets them in.
But then
Let's get the bums on the seats.
But then how's that different from my the why section? Why is it's just two? Aren't they just the same boxes?
No, they're not. Your hook is the thing that gets the kids wanting to do what you're doing. It gets them to buy into it, gets them excited about it.
Okay. So I suppose that could be like, you could have your big question mark, big question, and then the hook could be like your teacher demo. So look at this thing exploding. Or
yeah, it could be a demo. Yeah, it could be a video clip. It could be a piece of music. It could be an image.
Could be like an article, maybe a newspaper writing to it.
Could be something waiting for them on the desk.
So you would have something maybe on the screen and maybe something on the desk.
Maybe.
Okay. Or it could be just something that you say, right, we're going to do this now. Okay, got you. Speaking, listening, reading, writing process. I really wanted to say that more fluidly.
It's
maybe
alright.
I need to do more of that.
That's your literacy, and beneath that, that's your numeracy. That's just making it clear that all the stuff that you're doing anyway about literacy and about numeracy is just signposted and made clear to everyone.
I know, it's not, I suppose it's not about like, oh, I'm gonna make them read the text out loud because I need to tick that box. It's about stuff you're doing, because you could say, reading something, you could read an artwork, you look at a painting and say, right, what can you see? They're reading it by looking at it, explaining it, describing it. I mean, one of the things could be just say they looked at something and said, that phone looks pink. You could say, well, can you extend that answer? What type of pink is it? Could that be cast as my speaking and listen?
It could be something to do with questioning, it could be to do with anything that's going to get them to be doing something that involves literacy or numeracy.
Well, like,
that stuff anyway, and it's just a case of making it clear and taking the time to think, well, actually, I do use timings, and I do use measuring, and I do use questioning, getting the kids to talk about their work, and it's just a case of having that on the plan.
Progress point me dig.
Yeah, this is the good bit. That stops you just giving them a list of stuff to do.
But how isn't it just like, because could you just say, get your books here, open your books here, do the work here, put your books away?
That's planning by task, Louise, and there's no challenge in that.
Alright then. So
what you would do here is you would choose a point where the kids would be making progress, and then you would figure out how to check that progress.
But why do I have to do this? I don't understand. They should be always making progress.
They should, but if they're not, or if they're not making expected progress, you can then change your planning, change your teaching along the way.
Well, now how I've tackled this is like the first progress point. I was thinking after my teacher demo table.
Yeah.
And then I got this off Brad of Science. And when it was just like, after doing a teacher demo, I could say, progress check, robot. And that's when I say, right, you're a robot, such and such, Joe Blogs, know my children.
Yeah.
Feedback to me what we need to do next.
Alright. So they repeat what you've explained in the demo?
Well, like, so I know they've gotten it.
Yeah.
Because you don't want, because you know you have that moment when they just all go and do the exact thing you told them not to do. But how do I make that differentiated?
Well, you could ask different questions to specific kids.
Okay.
So the kid who never listens to you and always does the wrong thing, you could ask them to list back to you what the most important things are. And if they've forgotten anything from that, ask another kid who's maybe safety conscious or maybe will remember to be to get all of the important points, and ask them to help them out.
And I suppose I could ask, like, you know, maybe my G and T's. What about the success criteria? Like, well, what would you grade that then? If
Absolutely.
we're just doing that, what could be the grade? Right, progress point 1. So that's like the first 15 minutes of my lesson.
And what I would do after that is, the way that I did this with my lesson is, I would take a specific group of kids who were maybe in the past struggling, and went to see them first after about 10-15 minutes, and spoke to that group and made sure they were all making progress, and if they weren't, readjusting the task, or maybe solving their problems, or maybe getting them to solve the problems. And then another group would be identified for the next progress check 10, 15 minutes later, and then another one, maybe my kids who are high flyers, who know their stuff, maybe they could then be the last one. Or I could do that with the whole class. I'm
going to put devil's advocate.
Right, yeah.
Right, but then what about this group? If that's that group there that you've checked, then for free progress checks, they could be still just doing the same progress for their amount of time. You may have made progress yourself because you're moving around the kids, checking different people's progress. How's that, those people from here, they've still got to make progress, haven't they, at the same time?
Yeah, that's a good question. You could do a whole class check at the end. You could get the kids to check each other. You could do a peer assessment in there.
Yeah, so that's really where these bits come in, like the differentiation bits. So that's where you could be saying, right, I'm going to this group, progress stressing a specific group. However, differentiated, I expect those people to be working through the success criteria, or be peer assessing, or talking partners.
Yeah.
I think what it needs to be is like, it's quick things.
Yeah, and if they're quick, it doesn't have to be just 4. There could be 5, 6 of these if you're doing them quickly, or if you're targeting specific groups.
I mean, I know some people might be thinking, oh, it's a bit gimmicky, some stuff, but it's not about. I don't think this is about like. Well, let's put a tweet in. Let's have a spinny wheel.
Yeah, it's certainly not as gimmicky as making a wheel.
You do what works for you, and then you put it in. Like, I would just draw my wheel now. I think that's what I would do in that one of these sections. But I think when I did this, it was in one way, it was a bit difficult because all the kids sort of reassessed themselves after the start and changed how they were working. And I didn't want to stop them to say, look, let's progress check. I think this is not about stopping the kids doing from what they're doing to fill in a form to show, oh, we're progressing. Look at me, I've made progress in the lesson. It's about you as a teacher being aware of the progress. And I think that is something that I've learned from it.
Yeah.
Like, I need to be more aware of everyone's progress. I thought I was, but then this has made me feel like I've gone deeper.
Yeah,
deeper
absolutely.
down.
And if the kids aren't making progress, then you can start changing your plans to make sure that they are. Bye, everybody!
Bye! I think we need to edit that.
Get out.
Should we do outtakes, or do you think our outtakes are enough?
Was that not the outtake?
I think that is good, because it says what it does on the tin.
It does what it says on the tin.
It does what it says. This is not going to do me well for my career.
Not going to do me well. Right, we're going, I think.
Is it recording?
Yeah. What's this all about, Louise?
I don't know, it's a bit of paper Gary. Should we do some role play here? Are you going to sit there?
I'll sit there. Is that alright? Or do you want